watching the Sports and Political channel of LB. I'm its contributor. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the videos on your social media platforms. And I'm going to give a salute to Too Raw for TV because he's the first one I saw talked about this. Let's get down to business. So after the flare-up last night between Jimmy Butler and Coach Eric Spolestra on the sidelines, and the Miami Heat end up losing to the Golden State Warriors minus Stephen Curry, minus Klay Thompson, and to a lesser extent minus Draymond Green. The same team that a lot of people last year, without those aforementioned players, saying that they were a G League team. But that team beat the hell out of the Miami Heat last night. And after the flare-up on the sideline, it begs the question, is Jimmy Butler wearing out his welcome in Miami? And two, and more importantly, has he been the problem all this time? What's up, Jeffrey Weaver? Salute to you. Now, to give the backstory, Jimmy Butler was the 11th, no, I take that back. He was the 30th overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft. The Chicago Bulls drafted him out of Marquette, okay? And nobody really didn't have a career trajectory for Jimmy Butler. He wasn't really expected to do much in the NBA. But as the years pass, he's gotten progressively better, from a complimentary role player to an all-star. And Jimmy Butler was the guy that was well on his way to becoming a superstar through hard work, through dedication, through willing to go through the grit and grind. But that came at a cost. That came at a cost. Because his style was starting to rub people the wrong way. I mean, by the time he broke out in Chicago, the Bulls was on their way down. Derrick Rose had his injury issues. Joakim Noah was declining. And, that Bulls team that was supposed to be a threat in the Eastern Conference for years to come, no thanks to Tom Thibodeau, that Bulls team was on the decline. And Tom Thibodeau was gone in 2014 and 15, but he was still there. When Tom Thibodeau left and they brought in Fred Hoiberg, Fred Hoiberg was coaching at Iowa State. Fred Hoiberg was coaching at Iowa State. Either Iowa State or Nebraska. It was one of those two schools. But I want to say it was Iowa State that they brought in Fred Hoiberg. Now, Fred Hoiberg just came off an NCAA tournament appearance. They ended up hiring him. And it just did not go well between Fred Hoiberg and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler didn't really like Fred Hoiberg's laid-back style. Jimmy Butler felt like Fred Hoiberg was not pushing guys hard enough. So Jimmy Butler wore out his welcome in Chicago, and he was subsequently traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves at that time was being coached and managed by Tom Thibodeau. And it didn't take long for Jimmy Butler to beat this, to show his disdain towards Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. He felt those two guys were being baby, right? And Jimmy Butler, on top of that, didn't want to be part of a losing franchise. So that lasted all of 1 year. 1 year with him and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, the Timberwolves went to the playoffs for the first time since 2004, but he had beef with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins got a max contract, and the Bulls, not the Bulls, the Timberwolves were hell bent on keeping Karl Anthony Towns. And then you had the infamous practice, which led to Jimmy Butler being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. And why? Because, like I said before, he did not feel that Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins were the it factor, and these guys were being babied, and these guys were being coddled, and he didn't like that. So, on the Philadelphia 76ers, at that time, Brett Brown was the head coach. He had beef with Brett Brown, and he had beef with Ben Simmons. He really didn't have a problem with Joel Embiid outside the fact that Joel Embiid wasn't getting enough shots. Okay? So Philadelphia was bounced in the second round, literally, by the Toronto Raptors off that shot from Kawhi Leonard. And then after that, the Sixers in the signing trade traded him to the Miami Heat. What's up, number one grinder? Gideon, salute to y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. So Jimmy Butler's on the fourth team, the Miami Heat. He's embraced the culture. He embraced the hard work, the grit and grind, the work ethic, all that stuff, right? So why was he blowing up at Coach Eric Spolestra last night? Because when you blow up at somebody like that, that's not just something that just happened one time. That's not something that happens in the spur of the moment, right? This happens after a period of time where things just wasn't going right in Jimmy Butler's eyes. Some things were annoying him over time. And that culminated last night. Now, Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, going to wear out his welcome in Miami. They're going to look to make some moves in Miami. Now, this was one of the teams I had coming out of the East. But after last night's performance, and actually their performance recently has been less than stellar, to be honest with you. Can this team get over the hump? Can this team be this threat in the East? Will Jimmy Butler be the reason why the Miami Heat comes out of the East? So, at some point, you gotta, the problem is right there in front of you. It's just like when you go to, like, when someone gets married multiple times, right? Yeah, the first time, things happen and, you got to cut your losses. Second time, all right, might be a little coincidence there, second time, whatever, right? But after that third time, you might want to start looking in the mirror at what the problem is or who the problem is. You can't be on those 5 and 6 marriages and all that, and you're not the problem. No, bruh. At some point, the problem is in the mirror. Now, I'm going to put a link in the chat. You guys can tell me what you guys think about this. Shout out to my sister Maya, the DMV tutor, for her donation through the super chat. She says, keep putting out great content. Salute, LB. I appreciate you, my sister. I will continue to do so. Thank you very much for the super chat donation. If you want to donate, I'll put the Cash App and PayPal on the banner here in a little bit. But yeah, there's my Cash App, there's my PayPal if you want to donate. Once again, I appreciate you for your donation through the super chat. Now, let's get back on Jimmy Butler. Because the same way I get on James Harden, right? And I don't like James Harden. But I like Jimmy Butler, though. I really like Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler ain't getting it done. Jimmy Butler, bullshit.
Salute.
What's up, Gideon? There was some little feedback in the background. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, my
I
fault.
thought that was me.
No, that was my fault. Excuse me.
Okay. So, James Harden, I've gotten on James Harden for all kinds of stuff, right? For not getting it done, for forcing his way out of teams and all that. Meanwhile, right. Jimmy Butler's been flying under the radar doing the same dang on thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your thoughts on it? And then I'm going to go to my man T. Price.
Jimmy Butler's a good player, but the problem I have with Jimmy Butler, he needs to learn to stop being so egotistical and needs to understand it's a team game. He needs to learn to realize to leave his ego aside and realize that it's a team game, get guys involved, know when to take over. I feel there's times in which he doesn't take over the game and he's passive, and there's times in which he gets upset way too quickly. Like that, they just like that fight last night with him and Haslam and him and Spolestra when the Warriors went at 19-0 run to start that third quarter when they went up 19 without Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Otto Porter, and Draymond Green. I mean, Jimmy Butler needs to learn to put his team on his back like he did in 2020. Hit some mid-range shots back in the post like you've been doing, like you did in the past. And also, he needs to learn to hit threes. Have you noticed that he's been struggling from three? Like, you need to get a 3-point shot, man. Like, the thing with Jimmy Butler, he needs to learn to, not be so egotistical, not think he's better than what the team is, and just learn to listen to Eric Spolestra and listen to the veterans because they've been there, though. They know what it takes to win, though. And just be willing to open your mind, though. I'm not saying respect everything they say. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is that you got to learn to leave your ego aside, take things that is reasonable to you, and take it to action. Be aggressive when you see your team needs you. Back in the post, hit your mid-range shots. Be aggressive. Get to the basket. Be athletic. Play some great hard-nosed defense. Get guys involved. Also, work on your 3-point shot. Work on your threes. So that's my thing with Jimmy Butler, because if Miami has to win this year, because last year you looked like garbage in the playoffs shooting 30%. You got outscored by Brian Forbes, a role player, in a 4-game sweep. That's embarrassing. So if Miami wants to go to the NBA Finals and win, he needs to be the catalyst and put his team on his back, not only offensively, but defensively. And needs to show leadership and accountability.
All right, T. Price, what you got?
Salute, brother. Salute to
Salute to
whoever
you,
else
Percy.
is salute to whoever else on the panel, man. Hey, I seen that incident last night. I was just gonna say this: too much is given, too much is required. Okay, we already know, people that really know basketball know what Miami Heat stand for. I ain't never, that last time I seen something like that happened in Miami. That was when D Wade. That was when LeBron was arguing with Chalmers and all that stuff. That's the last time you really seen an incident like that. You very see that. Now for Jimmy, for instance, I don't have him as a super. He's a star.
Right.
But he's not a superstar to me. This is why he
So,
acts like he's a superstar, and then he comes off like he's a superstar, and that would really irks me about him. I was like, okay, there's so many times that you could have took over the game and everything like that. I like that grit and grind, but dude, Haslam is the worst person that was there way before you and still there kicking on the bench to sit
mhm.
there and be talking smack to. That's first of all. Then he got into it with Spolestra. Now, I never seen people get into it with Spolestra except LeBron. I'm just saying, I know it happens. This is a bad look for the Heat. He need to dress himself as a man. He need to apologize to his teammate. He just need to be a better teammate.
Right.
Yet you're a leader, yes, but your actions, hey, your team, hey man, that matters. And it's getting too close to the playoffs for that shit, for that to happen. That's outbursts like this should have happened way early in the season. You can't have these outbursts at the end of the season like this. That's all I got.
I agree.
And one more thing too. He's been injury prone as well. So
Right.
we got a guy who went through the grit and grind, got it the hard way. He's seen that other people ain't getting it the way he got it, and he got a problem with that. Not only that, he's injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take the consideration the passiveness, the prone to getting injured, and then because physically physically ain't the only thing that his psyche's injured too. Okay, and Miami will end up getting rid of him sooner rather than later because that's my thing is this, and everybody on this panel can agree. He has the talent to get it done.
True.
Right, he does.
Right.
Yeah,
He
he
does.
does. Absolutely, he
The
does.
question is, does he have the mental fortitude to get it done?
That's another thing.
Time will tell. Come playoff time. Time will tell.
Yep, that's this is the thing with me. All the yeah, y'all already know how we feel about this era and everything like that. But you judge it according to how you are in the playoffs. So saying that, hey Jimmy, I'm just saying, y'all. I mean the East. I'm just gonna keep it real. The East playoffs gonna be more competitive to me than the West. That's
Oh,
just my
facts.
opinion.
Oh, that's facts. That's facts.
I've been saying it all year on my channel that the East is better than the West this year. Yes, the West might have the top 4 records, but still, look at the East from even from 1 through 7.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they better this year than the West. It's not even close to me. But Miami, man, y'all need to get that shit in order, man. You can't be trying to get a championship run and have it, man, and then I just don't understand that. I just don't understand. I don't understand why he does that because he acts like he's a superstar.
And that's
You put
disrespectful by Butler. Yeah.
and dude, that's your teammate. Whatever ever happens, that shit ain't supposed to happen. That shit supposed to be happening behind closed door. Yeah. There is gonna be outbursts that we seen from time to time, but it wasn't like that, man.
Right.
And then you got to get restrained for your coach too.
Right.
Come on, man. Man, like I say, I don't know, man. A lot of these guys, man, I respect this grind, but right here, man, hey, man, I can't give you a pass on that, sir. You're a very disrespectful person.
And the problem with Miami, do you know if they play down to their competition too much sometimes? It's like, how do you lose to Philadelphia without Joel Embiid and James Harden? How do you lose to Golden State by 2 touchdowns without Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Otto Porter, Andre Iguodala, and James Wiseman?
I don't get it
this
either.
is the
Get
thing.
it? It's just
They just beat Philadelphia not about a couple weeks ago in Miami
with Embiid. Yeah.
But So yeah, that is a case of playing down to your competition, and I like. If you're supposed to be, and like I said before, all the time before I go to wait, what? This is what I always say. If you want to be labeled as a championship threat, you got to beat teams you're supposed to beat. You got to beat who's in front of you.
Mhm.
You can't lose
That's a
games.
fact.
You can't lose games to teams you had no business losing to, especially if they if they without their best players.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Wait, what you got?
We're good, LB. You can hear me?
Slow wait what?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
we can
cool,
hear
cool.
you.
All right, for sure. I just trying to make sure no static or none of that coming through. But yeah, salute to y'all boys. Hope everything good with y'all. Hope everybody well and everything. So on the Jimmy Butler situation, just a side note, listen, because what the Miami Heat went through last night, the same thing, kind of the same thing in a way, parallel. It's not the exact same thing, but parallel to what um Brooklyn went through. However, the team they faced against each other are two totally different dynamics. Where Memphis is like dominant, and Golden
True.
State low key they've been kind of dominant without the Steph Currys and the Clays and the Draymond Green. They know how to play. Everybody get touches. I believe it's like what, 5 or 6 people in double figures. So everybody gets to touch the ball more of a operational basketball fundamental way. So I think teams like Miami and at that moment yesterday with Brooklyn coming into the game with expectations of what happened today did not happen yesterday. So mindsets is all over the place. I put that more on that situation. I just feel like what Jimmy Butler as a leader, so-called leader of the franchise, which I think now you can see more as a Bama Abayo than Jimmy Butler. Um, Jimmy Butler took the wrong route. I honestly feel like in that situation, and then I collected more data because, like I said, I'm from South Florida. I live in South Florida, so I'm seeing that from up close even than anybody else inside the United States. So for me, like disrespecting Eric, especially Eric Spolestra, like this is the guy who coached LeBron. This is the guy who coached D Wade. This is the guy who had the big three and had so much success as a champion. So for him to be like, getting sick out the mouth, and then Udonis Haslem stepping in for his coach, it's not so much as Udonis had with just coming at Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler came wrong at his coach and a teammate of him, not with that whole, oh, I'm gonna stand for my teammate. He went behind his coach as Udonis Haslem because he's the OG. Respect your elders, respect the leader, and Jimmy Butler not respect that. And like I said, the approach of him saying, "Yo, that's him, that's them, that ain't me." You've been having that same problem in Minnesota. You had that problem in Chicago. You had that problem with your at you might have hindsight now because of what Ben Simmons going through now in the last year, but at that time you haven't.
So at some point, the problem is in the mirror. You got to look in the mirror and see what the problem is. It can't be everybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you're
That's a
going to
fact.
job and you sitting up there and your performance reviews have been low, everybody's saying the same thing about you. It's not some all-out assault. It's not some all-out jihad against you. It's like this is a classic case of a victimizer playing the role of a victim. You can't always be the victim. At some point,
Mm-hmm.
you got to hold the mantle for what you did and what you don't do. Period.
This is one thing they don't do in this. This is one thing they lack accountability. Accountability this era. So I'm not surprised. Nobody ain't called them out on it in the media and all this other stuff. Cause this they little flunky little time right now. So me, I'm not surprised. Us, man, we hold people to a higher standard. Cause basketball back then, how we grew up, them players really took the game seriously. I
Exactly.
remember them players. I remember the players play all their preseason game, even the minutes, and still had great seasons, and still was way more durable.
Mm-hmm.
So come on with this stuff, man. I'm not even surprised with this, man. Man, this is sad, bro. This is sad, man. But this is their era. No accountability. Everybody has an excuse.
And it's disrespectful and disgusting, man. Jimmy Butler needs to realize he is a team game. You're not the only person on the team. Because let's Jimmy Butler, you have to learn to be humble. Okay, Butler's probably a good guy off the court, But on the court, man, it's like he's a good player, but you got to learn how to be aggressive. I feel he's passive, like you said, LB, and he needs to learn to stay healthy. He's always hurt, man. Like he's always
I
hurt.
think he's saving himself, man, for the big games, for the big playoff games. They already number 1 or 2.
Number one right now, the number one.
I mean,
He's number
what they
one right
need,
now.
what they need to play him for?
I mean, the only
What do you
game
mean
that
they need to play? Okay,
The only-
okay.
Play him,
the
man.
only
They
game
got
that has him dropping.
What do you mean? What you need to play him for? Because we're less than 2 weeks away from the playoffs. That's
Playoffs begin
why he
April
needs to
16th.
play.
And then Oladipo supposed to be coming back too, right?
He came back a
Right.
long time ago. He
He
came back.
He came back. They just got
Okay.
him on a minutes restriction.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, that's good for them. They thinking long term.
But you want to get
And
chemistry.
you're trying to win
though.
the championship
You
in
wanna
the
get
short term.
chemistry.
You
No,
got
long
it. You
term,
got
you
it.
try to save 'em. You don't save them. You save them to the playoffs.
But you don't want to
And
rest
for
him
what?
too much. That's the
You
thing.
got to
You
get
don't
him
wanna
that.
rest
You
him
got
too
right. You got to have that chemistry with him. Because Oladipo only played all year,
They
and
had
then you
enough
bring in
chemistry.
somebody else into the equation. You know what I mean? Yeah, he knows the offense and everything. Do I'm telling you that practice and all that stuff. Now he stayed engaged with the team. That's another thing. You know what I mean? So no matter what, man, you got to have that. Ain't
And
no way you can
continuity.
just bring it right. You ain't no way you can just. It's just like I tell a lot of these people, man. Just I don't care who come back. If these niggas ain't been playing all year long, these niggas ain't gonna be ain't gonna be themselves. It takes a while for these players. These players they can't bounce back and be the same old players like they used to be.
Right.
They
And
definitely
here's
gonna be
another
there.
thing too.
They're not
Miami's
number
only
one
a
for
game
nothing.
and a half off from dropping. If you look at the
Matter of fact, they
standings,
got the best. They
they're number one now, but Philly, Milwaukee, and Boston only a game and a half behind Miami. So if Miami isn't careful, they may drop to 4. They're not careful.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference is tight. It's very tight, man. You
Yeah,
can't
it's
afford to have
very
a
tight.
bad week.
Yep. That's why you got to play.
Mhm.
You can't be sitting out these games and stuff like that. Cause this is another thing I understand about this era now. That's one thing I'm so blessed that I honestly see real basketball. Normally 80s, 90s, these niggas is serious around time. They ain't playing. They smell it. They waiting on that push for the playoffs. And then the playoffs comes, it's gonna seize anymore. These cats now, they just like oh, we just clinched the spot. Okay, we just cool. No, that's why I like teams like Phoenix. They keep on playing. Even the teams in the East, they keep on playing, keep on doing what they doing, no matter what the. Hey, man, because
Because you
matchups
want
matter in the playoffs.
right,
Matchups matter.
and you want to go into the playoffs playing your best basketball. You want to go into the
You have
playoffs
to.
playing your best. Because if you play poorly going into the playoffs, it may follow you in the postseason.
You got to be clicking on all cylinders. That's why I like another team that's clicking on all cylinders, the Grizzlies.
They got their 50th win. They're great defensively. And you want to hear this? They're 15-2 without John Morant. They're a deep team.
They're young, but they ain't won a series yet. Last year they played their first series, so they got to prove to me can they. But now the trajectory moving forward is excellent. Because I like what they doing in Memphis. Because Bane and then they stole Valanciunas.
No, Valanciunas is not on the team anymore.
Well, no, he got
I know,
traded.
but I miss him. I miss him over there. It feels so weird with him not being over there. It's like it's crazy because him and John Morant, they play good together. He fit in real good, but Valanciunas played good at anywhere he played at though.
So,
Because they got Steven Adams though, right? Yeah, they got Steven Adams.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that
they got
squad.
Aquaman.
Jared Jackson he finally staying healthy for
The
once.
Triple J, Jaren Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Kobe dunked on your daddy. But anyway.
no.
Yeah. They also
Oh,
have
yeah, so
yeah.
it's
My
so
bad.
what
I got kicked. I lost connection.
all right, so what do we see happen with Jimmy Butler? Should the Miami Heat fail to win the championship or whatever like that, or at least don't even make the NBA Finals?
People are doing what they're doing. They got the chemistry. They got some of the best chemistry in the league, really, to be honest with you.
Man, that's not what I asked. I asked what will happen with Jimmy Butler if
That's all
Miami
that
fails
matters.
to
Because
win
if Jimmy
championship.
Butler come in, he's gonna take him over the hump.
What if they
Oh,
don't?
man.
What was it? They don't win though.
Well, yeah.
What
What
if
if
they
they
don't
don't
win?
win though? Right.
But
Because honestly,
that's the
it's
goal. I'm gonna
open.
say that's the
This year's
goal.
open. This
This
year's
year's not
open.
a guarantee. Back then, there was no point watching the playoffs. Back then, there was no point because you knew it was gonna be Cleveland, Golden State back then. Now it's like, who knows? It could be Phoenix, Milwaukee. It could be Memphis and Boston. Memphis and Philly. You get my point? Like, this year's unpredictable. Back then, there was no point watching the postseason because we knew it was
I
going to
think the
happen.
toughest matchups are in the East. To be
Wait,
honest,
what? Wait, what?
the toughest matchups are gonna be in the East.
No, we agree with that. No argument there. We're just
No
saying
argument.
no argument. The East is tough and deep. Yeah.
My question is, but my question is, with the way Miami's been playing, where do we see the Heat at in this? Some people got them losing in the first round. Now I don't agree with that,
I don't
I
agree
don't
with
agree
that.
with
um,
that. I don't agree with
They'll
that.
get out the first round. They'll get out the first round.
I think they get out the first two.
yeah. But when you
I
get to
might
the,
think it's a
but
surprise. I think they
uh,
might
uh, uh,
go all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and play the Bucks.
For me, I got them either in the conference final or in the NBA finals. I'm leaning towards more because here's the thing. I got to see how Brooklyn looks with Ben Simmons. I got to see how they look with Ben Simmons. And two, well, before the year, I had Brooklyn, but I know Kyrie just came back. But recently, I picked Miami to come out the East because of the depth. I'm sticking with Miami. I think the Heat might turn things around later in the season. I have a weird feeling the Heat are going to turn things around, so I got the Heat coming out the East because they have finals experience. So I still got the Heat coming out the East, but my only concern with Miami, they struggle to score sometimes, and sometimes they play down to the competition.
okay, so
True.
with Miami, right? Was last night flare up overreaction, or was there something deep rooted
It's an overreaction.
in controversy? So Gideon,
With
let's
me,
talk. Let's talk. Oh no, go ahead,
mm,
T Price. What you got first? You first, T Price,
I
then Gideon.
Okay.
I just gonna get mine out the way. I won't know. We won't know. See me, I ain't gonna judge it now. I just gonna judge how they end out. If they flame out, get beat in the playoffs, then we could look back and say, yeah, this incident right here, or then other stuff coming out, yada yada yada. But to me, it's
Big,
yet to be determined. It's yet to be determined. To me, it's according to how they play in the playoffs.
hey,
That's
T
all I
Price,
got.
to your point. Hey, T Price,
Yeah.
to your point. When a team doesn't win, because we saw that with the Clippers a couple years ago in the bubble, they was up
Mm-hmm.
3-1. They let Denver come back and beat them, and then you started seeing all these reports that come out and in the weeks and months after that, after the
Hmm.
collapse, we started to see reports about how teams were infighting because they didn't like Kawhi Leonard's and Paul George's preferential treatment, and this person had beef with that person, and they didn't like the coach philosophy. All that shit started to come out after a team loses that's expected to win.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah. So like I say, we gonna see.
Time will
We gonna
tell.
see.
Time will tell,
Hmm.
All
man.
right, what you got? What you got, Gideon, on this? Was last night a flare up an aberration, or was it something we need to look into deeper?
I think we gotta look to a little deeper because I think I looked a little deeper because sometimes Butler could have a history, could get angry prone sometimes. So I think I look to a little deeper though.
All
I'm
right,
not going.
D Dog, what
I
you
ain't gonna
got?
sweat it. I ain't concerned. They'll get it right. Butler's more of a bigger bet now. He gonna make the smart plays to get them on the hump. Their biggest nemesis is probably Brooklyn. That's about it. Because I don't think Sixers, Bulls don't have enough. Sixers, they gonna fold. They're gonna self destruct. Because you got that man Harden again, straight playoff choker. Then you got Let me see who else going in the East.
There's
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Milwaukee, they ex champions. You know, they the NBA champions so far. So somebody knocked them off, so they always gonna be a factor. Anyway, I think the Heat got what it takes to beat Brooklyn, though.
I agree with that.
And so
I think that
anyway,
defense to give Brooklyn some problems.
I got one thing to say. LB, can you repeat this? Can you repeat it? You hear me?
I'm not repeating shit.
Now I want to go. Can you just agree with me then?
No. I'm not trying to switch to no other topic because I know where you about to go at with that, and that's for another video.
LB call his ass like nigga, you ain't send me up for that okey doke shit right there, buddy.
Yeah, I know what you about to do. No, you ain't going down like that. All right, so let's talk about the Miami Heat. All right, so outside of what we just talked about as far as like playing down the competition and all that, what are the problems that we see with the Miami Heat? Do they lack? Is it size? Is it inability to score at crucial moments? What is it?
The points you said, LB, size. They need another rim protector to help out Bam Adebayo. They need another bench scorer to help out Tyler Hero. Also, they need a go-to guy to help out Jimmy Butler in close games. Yeah, because they struggle to score sometimes.
Yeah.
What problems you see with them, T Price?
Just like what just Gideon just said though, because I like Tyler Hero, but you need more than one scoring option coming off your bench, man. Because most championship teams that I've seen in the past, they always have at least 3 guys or maybe 4 that can give you 20. And you don't even know it. So they got it, but they just need I think they need 2 more. I think they need 2 more, and they definitely missing size. I know they got that little tall dude that's a rookie and everything like that, but hey man, but they definitely like size. Now Alabama, that's what I'm saying. They need somebody to help Bam out and to get a couple of more pieces on their bench. And I think they good after that.
What's up, Courtney Washington? Hey, what about you, D-Dog?
I think they maximize their talent. That's what I like about them. And if that becomes a habit, man, they can upset anybody in the league. You know, they got everybody playing their role. They play team defense. They move the ball around. I mean, that's the most you can do in basketball. Basketball is about ball movement, smart shots, and team defense. They might not have, all-star players outside Jimmy Butler or anything, but they use everything they can use to beat the teams they need to beat, and they consistent. See, a consistent team, man, seem like they find ways to win. These day up and down teams with talent, they upset you every time. But see, these teams, man, you don't have to talk about them all the time because they don't have box office star players on that team. But a consistent team that play together can do anything.
Right.
So, do you feel at this point the Miami Heat were a consistent team that does that, everything that you alluded to?
Yeah. For the most part, yeah.
All right. I disagree with that respectfully, but we're going to leave it at that. Because you can't play down to your competition. That's why I disagree with that. If you know your team, the other team is missing 2, 3 of their best players and all that, that's supposed to be like a shark smelling blood.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, look, we supposed to go. Jimmy
But
Butler
other teams,
supposed to be the guy to go out there and put a foot in that ass and keep it there.
True. Get up a 19-0 run to start the third.
but they NBA players too now. They want to step up and try to.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You do have a point there, D-Dog, about them being professional basketball players. But at the same time, if you're the superior team with the superior talent, then you can't do that.
You'd have to 40
You
minutes
cannot let a team give up a 19-0 run on you in your building.
to start the third. Think about that. You were tied at halftime.
Right.
Okay. I mean, shit happens.
I know
Yeah.
it happens, but it shouldn't have happened because here's the
It
thing.
should not have happened.
Because think about that game
But
could be
I think they're gonna rebound
Because
from
remember last year, you had people coming out saying that this same Golden State Warriors team without Steph, without Clay, without Draymond, they were calling them a bunch of G Leaguers last year. This
True.
very same team.
Right.
So
that.
I'm holding everybody to
bench
account for the stuff they said. Now, I don't agree with that notion that team last year was a whole bunch of G Leaguers, considering that a lot of those, like Andrew Wiggins, was a top 5 pick. So how can he be a G League if he was a top 5 pick? Right?
He went to Minnesota, but he never
I just thought he was just
lived up to his
down last
potential.
year.
He never lived up to
He was
his
just up
potential.
and down last year, yeah.
The fact of the matter is, you're at home and you got paying customers, right? Them fans don't deserve that. Them fans don't deserve to watch their team getting their ass beat like that, especially considering that this team got championship aspirations. There are a lot of people proclaiming the Miami Heat to come out of the East. I was one of them. I was one of the people before the season started was like, hey,
Like
look,
y'all said,
you might want to watch out for the Miami Heat.
Y'all said they still number one, right?
I mean, I know. I still
now,
got personally.
Yeah,
for
but
me,
I'm saying they ain't number one for nothing.
no, they're still a good team. I still got them coming out the East, but I'm not as confident. I still got them coming out the East.
So you judge it for one game?
But it's not just one. It's back to back.
It's not just one game.
It's back to back games. And even did it's not just it's back to back. They lost to Philly without James Harden and Joel Embiid.
When they just beat them with Joel Embiid.
Right. They were struggling. What else? They were struggling with some lower echelon teams too. I mean, they're a good team. Miami's a good team. I still got them coming out the East personally, but I'm not as confident.
Okay, we'll ask you this question. When they are really, really on that A game and focused, you think they can beat anybody in the league?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Hey, shout out to BX Sports Jedi Network in the building. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely, sure.
This ain't no Cinderella season, no fluke, no none of that.
Well, the Miami Heat has the potential to go all the way to the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think they'll beat Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I don't think they beat Memphis. I do think, however, they beat Golden State.
I agree with that.
Why y'all underestimate Golden State so much?
We're not underestimating the Warriors, but consider the fact that we don't know how Jordan Poole, Damian Lee, James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins will look in the playoffs. We don't know how they're going to look in the playoffs. 2, Steph Curry just hurt his foot. 3, Klay Thompson can be up and down in the playoffs.
But you never sleep on them, though.
I'm not sleeping on them. I'm giving you a fact.
No one's sleeping on
Golden State.
We're not sleeping. I'm giving you a fact.
I'm telling you the truth about them.
We're giving you facts. Klay Thompson can
I see him all the time out here.
Klay Thompson is inconsistent in the playoffs. Let's be honest. Steph Curry is great, but he can be up and down in the playoffs. Draymond Green.
Oh man, come on, Gideon.
It's a fact, man. It's a fact.
Draymond Green
scored 2 points in 29 minutes.
Bro, the Warriors did win championships, but 2 of them was with KD. What are you saying? And also,
you talking about Draymond?
Draymond's a good defender and passer, but Draymond's a hothead sometimes.
And not a good scorer, despite the fact he said he can go out and get 20 and 10 on any given night. Now, I'm still waiting on that 20 and 10 on any given night.
And also, like I said,
you got to look over that. Because,
I ain't looking over shit. I ain't looking over shit. That nigga say he can score 20 and 10. I still ain't seen that shit yet.
Last time
that motherfucker had a good game was game 7 against the Cavaliers.
And also,
other than that, He ain't done shit since then.
And
I
also,
mean,
like I
he got
said,
to get fed up for scoring. He a person.
Man, he
who have
should
to
have
shut up.
came out of his mouth. He should have
I know
shut that
that's right.
shit up.
and also, like I said, we don't know how Jordan Poole, Damian Lee, Kuminga, Wiseman, we don't know how they're going to look in the playoffs. We don't know how Wiggins is going to look in the playoffs. Not everyone could just go into the playoffs and dominate. Teams are going to make
But
adjustments.
you got leaders like
It
Curry,
doesn't matter.
Clay,
Teams also have
the
leaders
nucleus.
too. It doesn't mean nothing. Teams also have leaders too. The Suns have leaders too. So what we're
But they
saying,
got championship
that was
experience.
a different roster. They were
They're
different
I
right.
teams.
understand that, but you can
And also,
still
you had
make
Kevin
them.
Durant at
You
the
can
time.
elevate people games.
Dude, Klay Thompson's not even healthy. Do you think about that? Steph Curry has a foot injury. So what are we talking about?
But I'm saying though, you never ever underestimate.
I'm
Curry.
not underestimating them. I'm giving
Man,
you
we
a
ain't
fact.
underestimating
Okay,
this,
We're not
man,
under-
dude. How we
So
underestimated where they fell at last year? Then what happened last year? Then when
They missed
the
the
last time they
playoffs.
been to the final? All right, then. So how we underestimate them? That's what I don't understand. Come
And
on,
Nobody
like
man.
goes to the
Stop, cut
playoffs
that
Hey,
shit
every
out,
year.
Big
bro.
Dog, where you got Golden State at anyway?
I have them losing
You,
the second
I'm
round.
not
no,
sure.
not you,
I'm
not
gonna
you,
admit. I'm
Dion.
gonna
I'm
admit.
talking
I'm gonna admit.
about
LB. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
you
But
not sure.
So what are you
You talking
arguing
like they're
then?
going all the way.
So what are you arguing then?
I'm not going to bet against them when they get back together because they got too much
Can
championship
we wait till
experience.
they're healthy first? And can we see how the
Yeah,
young guys look in the playoffs?
I
yeah.
agree. I agree with that. I agree with that.
And
But
also,
once
That's
they
all
get
we
it,
saying.
that's on my point. And I love Steph and Clay, but they can be streaky in the playoffs sometimes. Let's be honest. I love Steph and Clay, but I seen Klay Thompson get outplayed in 2016. He was up and down in the finals in 2016. I seen and 2015. In fact, Clay was not that good in the finals until 2019. I seen Steph Curry be up and down in 2015 until later in that series, and I seen Steph Curry not play great in the finals until like 2017 and 18.
what the year they beat OKC?
No, 20. No, I'm talking about in the
No.
No, Steph Curry is great. I love Steph Curry. He's a great player. I'm just saying that it says at times in the playoffs. I said at times.
Like
That's
I
my.
think they just lost. It doesn't that he was streaky. They just lost. That happened.
They blew a 3-1 lead. And also, Steph did not play again. Yes, I understand injury did play a part. I'm not ignoring that Bogut got hurt. I'm not ignoring that Draymond got suspended and injuries. Yes, it played a part. I believe the Warriors would have won if they were healthy that year. I believe that in 2016, but they still had 3 opportunities to execute and didn't get it done. Again, the Warriors are a great team. They are. We're not underestimating the team. They're great. I'm just concerned about the young guys in the playoffs. Also, what helps my argument. They can get turnover prone sometimes. Also, they're not a great free throw shooting team. And Steve Kerr's adjustments can be a little bit, questionable.
Facts.
Do you think they at least get to the second round?
They'll get to the second round. Yeah, absolutely. They'll get to the second round. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
But who would they lose to?
Second round.
We don't know. We gotta wait till the schedule. We gotta wait till the seedings play out.
They play Portland.
Then we can go out here going these conspiracy theories about who can win, who lose.
You think Utah can beat them?
Utah's not beating Golden State. No way.
I don't trust Utah.
No.
Utah can't beat themselves.
Do you think Phoenix gonna beat them?
Phoenix, yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Are you serious right now?
I ain't sure.
What? Phoenix is deep. They have good backcourt.
And this is the thing I understand. This is one thing I don't understand why people don't hate Phoenix. They basically duplicate what they did last year, but it's even better. And then Chris Paul, and then not only that, Chris Paul supposed to be coming back. The word supposed to be word out there. He's supposed to be coming back. So what are you talking about here?
Against Denver. He might play tonight against Denver.
Yeah, they say Chris Paul's back tonight against the Nuggets.
Right, yeah, I heard that earlier today. Yeah, but dude, I trust Phoenix. You know why? Because Phoenix showed me last year. They showed me last year they could do it. Golden State got knocked out the first round. So you tell me who I trust.
Last year. They didn't make the playoffs. But
they didn't make it last year. That's year before, right?
Right.
They really Phoenix needed some extra big man.
And they got it.
They got Biyombo McGee.
Yeah. They beast and Big Man been balling.
Exactly, and McGee too, and also Crowder
Yep.
can hit threes and defend. Bridges is a good defender, can hit the three and defend. Yeah, Torrey Craig can hit threes, defend, get to transition.
He
You
got to
also
start
have
doing stupid shit sometimes. Torrey Craig
he,
do
he
stupid
he
shit
does.
sometimes, but
Craig is dumb sometimes. Landry Shimmy can be streaky sometimes, but Shimmy can get hot when he's hot. Cameron, and here's
Right,
what's
he
crazy.
hustle on the boys, right?
True, and here's what's crazy. Cameron Johnson's not even been healthy, and when he's hot, Cameron Johnson can shoot and he can get to the basket. And
Can
when the
they
that's
run
Suns,
that's
faster? Do
that's
you
when the
think
that's the
they
Suns,
can run
Knicks.
faster than Golden State?
wait, what?
Think they can run faster than Golden State with
Uh
that wide open offense they have?
but the Suns also
It's
have
all
wide
about
offense
matchup.
too. So you're saying, and
And then you
also
got to think about it too. Playoff slows down.
that's
We
my
all know
point.
that it slows down. So you ain't gonna be doing that regular season shit.
And
Playoffs
also,
is really by execution.
great points too. And also, you cannot double Chris Paul or anyone on the Suns. You can double Steph Curry because Steph can be turnover prone. You cannot double Chris Paul or Devin Booker. You can't.
Oh, hold up now. Clay Thompson is a
All
good
right, so
defender.
Clay can be
back to the
hot and
Miami
cold.
Heat,
That's the
right?
thing, bro. He just came back from injury.
He should
Back
be
to the
all right by the
Miami Heat.
playoffs.
If you say so, man. Go ahead, LD.
Yeah, back to the Miami Heat. Where do they need to make the adjustment at, as far as like, because the people that are supposed to score the basketball, like the Duncan Robinsons, well, you know, Duncan Robinson been playing like Duncan Hines. Okay, let's just be honest with you,
Talking about Jimmy
right?
Neutron.
Yeah.
He have his games where he's
So
decent though.
Yeah, he can't create his own shot. He gotta have somebody that he
True.
do all that cutting. You know, he can't create. That's one thing about a player like that. That's a shooter. You know, you a
True.
shooter like that. You gotta learn how to handle the ball. You know that you gotta make yourself even more a better threat.
He only comes
He's
up
easy.
curls and
He too
kicks and
easy
pops.
to guard.
You talk about Duncan
Not if the
Robinson?
offense is set up
Yeah,
and
Duncan
he has his
Robinson.
right
Yeah,
spot.
Yeah, he only comes up curls. That's it. Comes with curls and screens. That's it.
But if
yeah.
you
yeah,
execute
because
it so
you know he's a
perfect, it's
scoring
hard to stop.
dependent, he's a scoring dependent guy. He really doesn't do anything else. His value is tied to scoring the basketball, right?
Mhm.
Then Tyler Hero, Tyler Hero, whenever Jimmy Butler's out, he brings the ball up. He tends to be their primary ball handler because, look, at this stage of his career, can you really trust Kyle Lowry to do that, right? Kyle Lowry's best years are behind him.
I mean, he get his moments, but yeah,
Yeah,
he was always
and
wild
Dead
anyway.
Battery has his moments too when it shines brightest before it eventually dies, right?
Right.
But
But
see,
what we looking for?
Kyrie,
We looking for
Kyle
consistency.
Lowry, he usually always be. He sometimes get reckless anyway. We understand what he's about, but they alleviate that by their offensive diagrams and offensive plays. So Kyle Lowry now has championship experience as well. So I don't think he's going to mess up the Heat's championship run. That's gonna be on him. He gonna do what he needs to do to keep making this Heat team a threat.
So okay, so where do we see the Miami Heat at? I mean, where do we see this team? I mean, based on, well, hold on, before I get to that, right? What did they do well?
Kyle Lowry, he drives to
No,
the
I'm
Well,
talking to
basket,
Miami
man.
Heat in general. What did they do well?
They
Because we
score
can't
on the
just bash
perimeter.
them for what they do wrong and not highlight the things they do well. So what did they do well?
They move the ball well. They play team defense well. They shoot on the perimeter pretty good. So I mean, they okay. They ain't dominate the paint like that, but they're strong enough to bang with the big boys, but also have to. They got to move the ball movement to set up perimeter shots, like cut to the basket. Too. That's that they do that well. They find it. If they got chemistry, and that speaks volumes. Sometimes if you got a team with great chemistry, they're always a threat.
That's why Phoenix Suns back in the day when Steve Nash was point guard, it was hard for them to be stopped because they were good in that system. And that's why he was the MVP back then.
We
San
already know
Antonio.
who should have been MVP. That nigga should not. Steve Nash should not won back-to-back MVPs, man. We all know that.
But,
Politics is in everything, sir.
nah,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't
Yeah,
think
I
so.
Yes,
won't go down
sir.
that
Yes,
rabbit hole.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, we
sir.
all know that, but
Kobe
I don't want
Bean
to go there.
Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant was the best player during that time, sir. We ain't gonna go there. And he was,
Now
and
we
he,
not.
and he.
I'm not
But
trying to
we
go
ain't gonna
down
go
that rabbit
there.
hole.
We ain't going
We're not
there.
trying to do that. Not
I
trying to
know, but
go
I'm
down
just
that
saying.
rabbit
But
hole.
I'm
Nope, nope,
saying
nope,
like
nope,
like
no.
Phoenix got.
Hey, D Dog.
I'm talking
We
about
talk
this
about
year's
the
thing.
Miami
I'm talking
Heat.
about
I'm
the
not
Chris.
trying to go down that rabbit hole of
I'm talking
who
about
should have been
I'm talking
MVP
about
or not.
this year's Phoenix. They got good chemistry too. Miami got good chemistry. Who else got good? I think Dallas got decent chemistry. Uh, Damn, the Brooklyn Nets. No,
Man, we not talking about. Man, I talk about the Miami
they're
Heat.
not. Their
Let's
chemistry
stay
is
on
not.
subject.
Can we
Let's
just
Hold
stay in
stay on
on.
Miami,
Okay,
subject. We
who's
talk
their
please?
about the
backup
Miami
point
Heat.
guard? Who's the backup point guard? Who come off the bench?
Gabe Vincent.
So it's just only Tyler Hero. He basically like the point. He basically the backup point guard. So who they got coming behind Lowry?
Gabe
I
Vincent. I think it's
I
Gabe
know they got
Vincent.
Gabe Vincent, and then they got that
Yeah,
dude
get Vincent.
Struess.
Yeah,
Then they
and they
got that
don't miss
dude
a beat.
Struess, Matt Struess. Yeah, I know, but dude,
Yeah.
okay, we get all that, but you got to do it in the playoffs. I mean, dude, I'm not gonna ordain
I
players
think they're
that
gonna
ain't
do it in
never
the
been in
playoffs.
that situation.
I got Miami coming out the
Anything.
East. I just think they lose in the finals.
I think they're a threat too, but they're a threat. They'll continue to be a threat if they stay connected. But I got them going to at least to the second round. That's just me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
Hey,
I
so
ain't
see,
Gideon,
disrespecting
what
them.
do you going
Yeah.
back to the original question before D Dog decided to stray off course?
Hmm?
What do you think the Miami Heat does well?
What they do well, they do share the ball very well. They do attack the basket very well. I like how they use the mid-range shot. Butler uses the mid-range. Hero uses the
mhm.
mid-range. Bam Adebayo uses mid-range. They're pretty good. They're all right free throw shooting team. Um, and they're very good on ball defense. Butler's a bloodhound on defense. Tucker bloodhound on defense. Lowry bloodhound on defense. Bam protects the rim. Deadman's a good defender.
Right.
So
I forgot about Devin. Yeah, they do
Denton's a
got
good
Devin.
defender. Morris is a good on-ball defender. So what Miami does well, they protect. They good find through screens. They do a good job switching. They hustle for loose balls. They share the ball well. They use the mid-range shot very well, and they like to attack the basket. They love getting to the foul line, and they're a pretty good free throw shooting team. And they love sharing the ball. Bam Adebayo, we all know he's athletic and he's a good defender, but he's also a good passer as a big man too. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I like. And also Tyler Hero can create his own shot, and Butler too. And
You said
also
they good at the free throw line.
who?
They good at the free throw line.
I mean, they're pretty decent. Bam can shoot. Bam, they're pretty good at the line. Butler, Bam, Hero, Robinson, Tucker. They're good. Lowry, they're good free throw shooters. Yeah.
See, that's great in the playoffs. That's what you
And plus,
need.
they
Big
style.
clutch
One thing I
free
like
throws.
about Miami, they style of play is made for the playoffs.
Right. And they're
So
hmm
that's all I got. Go ahead.
and they get you deflections and steals a lot. They move they move their feet very well. They play without fouling a lot. They play without fouling.
They continue to do this in the playoffs. They might be in the final.
That's why I got them in the NBA Finals. Yes, I am a little concerned with the Heat, but I'm not gonna overreact too much with the Heat because I think they will be in the NBA Finals. Because Milwaukee, I'm not gonna switch the topic, Obi. I'm sorry, but Milwaukee, even though Milwaukee's a tough team, but they can be a little bit inconsistent sometimes. Brooklyn, I gotta see how Ben Simmons comes back. And my only thing was ego with Kyrie and KD, and also I'm not a believer in Philadelphia, so that's my thing. And Miami has, I understand it's a bubble, I get that, but they still have finals experience no matter what we say. Bubble or no bubble, they still went to the finals in 2020. So I still think the Heat, if healthy, are going to win the Eastern Conference.
I think they're better now than 2020. They're better now.
That experience happen. That experience, and then most of their team. Look, that's what I like about the Heat too. But if they don't make it this year, I don't know what the contract situation with Jimmy and everything like that do. They out of anybody that to me that could challenge the Bucks, I say because of their defense, I have to say Miami. That's just my opinion. Because
Oh yeah,
Brooklyn don't play no D. What other
true.
team you know? And I don't trust James Harden, and I don't trust James Harden. I know Joel
I don't
Embiid gonna
trust
do what he
Golden
got to
State
do.
either, man. I don't trust him beating big games neither, and Harden. Yeah.
Yeah, because they know they know, but at least Embiid got a whole lot farther than Harden did
Well, Harden actually went to the
without
finals.
teaming up,
No.
without teaming up with somebody. That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
he went to the
Oh, okay,
finals
okay,
before. That's what I got.
okay.
He just made too many. This is one thing I don't understand. The Heat got everything that they need, so we just got to see what they got to do, man. And Hero, that's their X factor. But to me, they're gonna need somebody because look, they're gonna be. I seen games where Tyler Hero be missing. When your
True.
shot ain't falling, you're gonna need somebody else off your bench. That's why they got that other dude that could shoot, Struce, and they got Vincent. Them dudes gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
be. They're gonna have to make big shots.
True.
Everybody know
But
what Hero can do because they seen that, so they gonna challenge him out. Coaching. I don't know coaching. I don't know. This is how coaching is far fetched. Go ahead, LB.
One thing I wanted to add to that, though, when Oladipo comes back and he gets his full complement of minutes, Gabe Vincent minutes going to get wiped out. He's not going to be in the rotation. So
Right.
is Max Strus. Those two guys are not going to be in the playoff rotation. And when they get Victor Oladipo back up to snuff, and they're going. I think his rotation will be like a 10-man rotation, probably like even an 8-man. Right? You have Oladipo probably going to crack the starting lineup, which means what's his face? Who's in the starter? Lowry. You got Lowry, Butler, Bam. Who plays the 4?
Tucker. I think it's Tucker.
Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Tucker could probably be the guy that comes off the bench. Because Oladipo he can if he don't crack the starting lineup, which I do think he gonna crack the starting lineup. You don't trade away all those players for Oladipo and have him put him through all that regiment, knowing he has the kind of upside he can bring to the team, and just have him rotting away on the bench.
Right.
So I think eventually he cracks the starting lineup, and then Tucker goes to the bench. Or if they go small, you're not going to bring Bam off the bench.
True.
Why did God?
Gotta keep Bam out there on the floor.
Butler plays the 3 in some cases. Who plays the 2?
I think it's Duncan Robinson.
Then he will come off the bench.
He go back to his normal spot.
How are you gonna say that he can shoot?
What?
I think it's gonna be Lowry.
Oladipo's a better player than Duncan Robinson.
It's true. He is. He is. He's a way better shot creator, better defender, more athletic. Yeah, better. Yeah.
And he created his own shot.
Right, and he's a better slasher too.
And he can make free throws too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, both guys can make free throws, but yeah.
I saw Duncan Robinson one time was playing a good game. I don't remember the game, but I don't think it's a big difference. Like I said, people coming off the bench, they really not gonna miss a beat, and that depth is gonna carry them to the final.
I mean, I did pick them to come out the East. I'm sticking with my pick. Before the year, I had Brooklyn, but I don't see it, so I got Miami. I'm sticking with my pick because I just think that their defense, they're a good 3-point shooting. They're a decent 3-point shooting team. They're a good on-ball defensive team. They share the ball well, and like I said, that finals experience. And like what BX Jedi said in the chat, they do a good job with team defense, and they really react too. I'm just not believing some East teams. I'm not believing Philadelphia, man. I'm not believing in them.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet $2 on Philadelphia 76.
Milwaukee gives Miami trouble. My only thing is that Miami slows down Giannis. Have you noticed that? Miami knows how to slow down Giannis. That's the thing, though, because they clog the paint.
Defensive designs on.
Well, they play this boxing one. basically protecting. They pretty much box out the rim the way he can't go to the rim. They make him. They neutralize it by making him shoot jump shots. But what Giannis can do, right? And this is where his teammates got to help him out. The Chris Middletons, the Drew Holidays, the Pat Connaughtons, the Bobby Portises of the world, right? They can help out Giannis by making those outside threes. If Miami going to concede that just to keep Giannis from going to the paint and dominating like that, then the Chris Middletons can't be going to 2 or 13. He can't be going 2 or 13 from the game. And Drew Holiday can't be going 3
but he usually shoot good in the playoffs, though.
I don't trust Chris Middleton, man. Sometimes he do, but Chris Middleton, he's always been inconsistent. He's always been inconsistent. But he did have his shine. There's times when he have his moments, but he's been way more inconsistent than he had his moments, so to speak, in my opinion.
You think he was inconsistent in the championship against Eastern Conference Championship against Brooklyn in the playoffs, in the finals? I mean, I think he stepped up well.
He did step up in the second half.
Last year, he has. There's moments that he has.
Even against Atlanta, Game 3, Game 5, Game 6, yeah.
And I hear a lot of people. I heard that George Jefferson stunt double Stephen A. Smith blathering his gums about Boston, right?
Boston's not going.
My man BX Sports Jedi Network was talking about Boston as well, right? So let's talk about them. Yeah, their defense has been. They've been humming along for like the last month or so. They just got done destroying Utah last night by 28. Hey, Courtney Washington, I forgot about your chat. I forgot about your question. Make sure you drop that question when you come back. But they just got done destroying the Jazz and all that. They're probably one of the best defensive teams in the league, right? So does Boston throw a wrench in all this stuff between Miami and Milwaukee and all that?
They're my dark horse team because let's just think about it.
Right. Or they destroyed the Nuggets too.
We gotta get these boys. We gotta get out.
And I like
to get these boys their credit. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, if they continue to play like they have, swallowing their pride and all this other stuff and sharing with the team and how the team come together, man, that rubs off together, man. They the dark horse. I think that's the spoiler team in the East is the Celtics.
Boston will be a tough out because they do a good job clogging the paint with Time Lord. He loves to reverse time, Robert Williams, and also you have Al Horford who's stepped it up. Jason Tatum has been stupendous this month, and Jaylen Brown. My only concern with Boston, they can be up and down offensively, though. I gotta see what they do in the playoffs first. I'm not a huge believer yet, though.
I don't know much about Boston. I mean,
they
might have a winning streak, but
they've been in the playoffs before. It's not like they. It's not
no,
like
right.
No.
It's not like they did first go around at the rodeo.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying that
but they are like a first round exit team. They ain't gonna be no threat.
No. I understand that, but my point I'm saying is this. I know they have experience, but my point is this. Sometimes Jason Tatum could be up and down in the playoffs sometimes. Same thing with Jaylen Brown. And also, I don't know if I could trust their bench in the playoffs. That's the thing. I still think if they had a bench, that would be different, though. Like
Boston need a superstar. That one superstar.
But they got
one. They already got one. What are you talking about?
Well, they got two. Well,
that guy too. You want to? He's on his way. He on his way to me.
I say all-star. I think Tatum's on his way.
All-star. He ain't no superstar, but he's an all-star.
One thing I like about Jaylen Brown, he old school and he played both ends. That's what basketball is about. Playing both ends.
Yeah, right. But he's like.
That's why I like saying. Hey, I agree with you, T. Price. He definitely plays on both ends of the floor. And that's the thing that really pissed me off when I hear these commentators and these so-called experts come on, talk about a two-way player. What do you mean is a two-way player? I don't understand that term two-way player. When you play the game of basketball, aren't you playing both ways? Aren't you playing offense and defense? So what is this two-way player and what is this 3-and-D guy and all this other crap terminology that they keep coming up with?
Good point. And
I think
also,
when they say two players, they saying they play two players. Well, they great on defense as well as offense.
But some of
Well,
these
if you're
motherfuckers who they say are two-way, they are not good two-way. They're only good one-way. It's what
right,
LB is alluding to.
you should not be
Oh,
one good. Especially if you want to be an MVP. If you want to be an MVP of the league, you just can't play on just one side of the ball and call yourself an MVP.
I
You
heard this
got to be able to
before.
play on both sides of the ball. That's why I don't
true,
respect guys like Stephen Curry and James Harden getting their MVPs, considering they only play on one side of the ball.
good
Offensive
point.
assets, defensive liabilities.
Good point.
I think I think I think Steph Curry he hustles more than James Harden
I do give you
on
that.
defense.
Yeah,
I do
he
agree with
does.
that.
And
He
He
does
does
get some
try.
steals.
Anybody try more than
he
James
just ain't man.
Harden.
He just too light in the ass to, and you can like post him up sometimes. Bigger guard can post him up a couple of times, but he
James
tries.
Harden, if he can't do his step back and frail his arm and do that step back, I thank God they got rid of that double step back. He was stealing money. He definitely stealing points doing that double step back, calling that shit 3-pointer. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I mean, but
My only
regardless, you still got you got to be a dog on defense. That's why I
This is
love
one thing I
Patrick
don't understand
Beverly.
about a lot of these players too. A lot of these players, they don't have one, and then the players that I do like that actually do use their mid range game, they're not even playing. A lot of these players, you got the ball in the hand, they still want to jack up threes and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, you got a shot mid range game. Where is it? A lot of these players don't have it, and I never seen so many players with ball in
But
their
people,
hands, and
I
when
don't
it's crunch time,
understand.
and they can't make free throws.
right.
Your mid range gets you hot, so then you start shooting threes.
Right.
Yeah,
You
that's the
shoot
But
old right. You're right.
mid.
That's the old school way. Facts. Yeah, that's what I'm
mhm,
saying. A lot of these players, they don't use that in a bag. They don't, and I know the players who do use it in a bag. They're
mhm,
ready to shoot the two than the 3-pointer.
right.
Because
DeRozan,
we're in
Butler.
the age of analytics. That's why. We're in the age of
Mm-hmm.
analytics, and a lot of the coaching styles, a lot of the game plans have analytics written all over it. But my thing is this: what's up, Artistic Obsidian? Salute to you. When you're playing the game of basketball, right? See, the game of basketball is supposed to be a simple game. It's supposed to be a simple game. Hey, if I know I can take you off the dribble, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take you off the dribble. The goal is to score the basketball on offense and to stop them from scoring on defense. And we start to create all this scientific nonsense that has nothing to do with the game of basketball. It drives me crazy to see some of
Yeah.
this stuff where analytics comes in front of basketball IQ.
I mean, some people adding this got a good basketball IQ. They just making more. They making the most of what their role is.
Okay. But another thing before we continue with the whole two-way thing, and again, I'm not trying to hit on Boston because Boston's great defensively. Udoka should be in the running of Coach of the Year. He's done a great job. I just gotta see how he coaches in the
Oh,
playoffs.
hold that thought, Gideon, because that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna talk about that in the future. I'm gonna talk about that in the video coming up real soon.
I
Because
know.
in my
Right.
opinion,
All
the
right.
coach of the year ain't as clear cut as it was a month ago.
True. That's a good point. I was sure. I get that point. I was trying to say that he's done a great job. I was trying to imply that I don't know how he's going to coach in the playoffs. He's done a great job this year. Don't get me wrong, but I just got to see what he does in the playoffs. How he's going to coach in the playoffs. You know, what adjustments are going to
Right.
make. You know, in the playoffs. That's why I'm not. Again, Boston's played well. This shocked me all season. Boston shocked me all season. I didn't think they'll be this good, but I just got to see how Tatum. Again, I know they have experience, but I gotta see Tatum, Brown be consistent in the playoffs. They can be a little bit up and down in the playoffs, though. I gotta see it though. That's the thing with me. I gotta see how, you know, I gotta see how Udoka coaches in the playoffs. Because remember, he's never coached a playoff game before.
First
I mean,
time
he's
for
been this.
everything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
my thing is this, right? When you got buy-in, because the coach, look, as much as we bang on these coaches for their philosophy or the team shortcomings and all that stuff, right? But there's another element that we don't talk about enough, and that requires buy-in from the players, from the top on down. You notice that the good teams got buy-in from their best player. They got all the as much as we bang on what's that Milwaukee coach name? Mike Budenholzer, right? Much as we bang on him, right?
Budenholzer, yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks are a good team. You know why? Because they got buy-in from Giannis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus the Lakers, who are not a good team, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Frank Vogel, and we don't got buy-in from LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You don't because the record speaks for itself.
They don't run offensive plays neither. Yeah.
Where are the two-way players?
Huh?
Where are two-way players?
What is a two-way player?
I'm rubbing off on you, LB. Okay, there's a certain someone that don't play on both ends either. Y'all love so much.
You mean you rubbing off on? You say you rubbing off on me?
Nah, I'm rubbing off on you.
Man, you ain't rubbing off on me. Fuck out of here. Anyway,
yeah.
The fact of the matter is this. The fact of the matter is this.
Player.
The fact of the matter is this. Good teams require buy-in from your best player. Period.
Right. True.
Because when things don't go right, hey, what I always say, the fish rots from the head down.
Right.
True.
So when you don't got buy-in from your best player and all that, then it's going to lead to a whole lot of problems. And then we're going, like T. Price mentioned early in the stream, you're going to have articles coming out talking about why this team wasn't so good, why the team was as good as we thought they were.
Can I give another example? Can I get one more example? Another team that's buying in, even though the coach that he should have won it last year to me, Monty Williams, that he got everybody to buy it in and says
you can make a case, man.
You can make a case for him too, for him or Udoka.
Man, and it's also Taylor Jenkins. He should be in the run.
I think he's underrated.
Taylor Jenkins too. Yep.
He's underrated.
Taylor Jenkins.
Monty Williams.
Or you can make case for JB Bickerstaff. You can make case for him. He's the early
facts. Also,
I just forgot about JB, right?
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse.
Yeah, Nick Nurse. So I mean, there's quite a few
coaches
in the running.
Mm-hmm.
So and as clear cut as it was last month. Last month I had old boy under lock and key, JB Bickerstaff. I had him under lock and key. This year, as of right now, man, you can make a case for at least 8 coaches for Coach of the Year.
Billy Donovan should be in there. I know the Bulls are struggling.
Bulls are frauds.
I know they're struggling now, but I'm saying that I get they're struggling now. But to be fair, the Bulls are still in the playoff race, so I gotta put them in there. You know, Billy Donovan, he's in there. I'm not.
Billy Donovan need to go back to college.
They're in the playoff race. I'm not saying he's the coach of the year. He's not, but I'm saying that he should be in the running, though.
He shouldn't be in the running.
Steve Kerr should be in the running, in my opinion.
Nick Nurse.
Because I banged on Nick Nurse early in this season. I banged on Nick Nurse. So he's definitely running.
He turned it around. Like I'm saying, man, like all these it's too many coaches. But we know Monty Williams got robbed last year. We already know that.
J Kidd a little bit.
But they gave it to Thibodeau.
Not in the running. No.
Why not? You had the Mavericks being top 4 in the. You had the Mavs being top 4 in the East. The West. I'm sorry.
Mavs in the top 4 in the West.
I mean, technically, technically, they're tied with Utah. Technically,
tied. Yeah, they're technically tied with them.
Okay, right then now, we put Jason Kidd in that. Yeah.
Because don't forget, Luka missed some games too. Don't forget.
Yeah, why Mark Jackson is starting to coach in the league? He coaches somewhere.
But we already know. We already
know about that, man. Right?
And then they always have him doing Golden State games and all that other stuff. Get that? I don't want to go. But yeah, see.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. But
that's it right there,
yeah, man. You can make a case for like 8 coaches being in Coach of the Year discussion. I'm gonna talk about that in another video. Probably that'll be a video I do tomorrow where we really break down who the hell's the Coach of the Year.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream, y'all. I'm gonna get me something to eat, And then I got to do my
Armor
lineups
of peace.
for FanDuel tonight. So go subscribe to T Price, BX Sports Jedi Network. Subscribe to that channel. Gideon will be doing this basketball analysis every Saturday at 1:00. And you got
Yes, sir.
and of course, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. And last but definitely not least, shouts out to the mighty LDBC, Lions Den basketball community. So on that note, Isaiah Saya, yeah, man, you're absolutely right about all that. You're absolutely right. You get no pushback from me, none. Because Monty Williams should be coach of the year, but we'll see. This your boy. I mean, let's back up. This your man. Scream at me. Hey,